What are the downsides of being obese nobody talks about? My mother threatened to send me to an obese camp because I couldn't stop gorging on snacks. That was probably some of the nicer treatment I'd received. Kids in school used to call me Princess Piggington, and anytime I'd whip out a sweet treat they'd snatch it out of my hands and say you should thank me for saving you from a heart attack. As a result, I'd hide in the bathrooms at lunch with nothing to do other than eat and eat till I couldn't bear another bite. It was messed up, because anytime I tried to do something else, I'd be ridiculed and bullied. With my grades being poor as a result, and having nobody to talk to, it felt like eating in my own solitude was the only thing I wasn't a complete failure at. And when I found comfort in something else, which was swimming, I realized my weight was betraying me because I was eating for a family of 4 all the time. But eating was a part of life, so how was I supposed to beat it? The answer is you can't, but you can cheat it. All I had to do was find something physical that I enjoyed doing and do it every day. And luckily, I found something. Every morning before school, I'd hit my local pool and swim a couple laps listening to Frank Ocean with my waterproof earbuds. I was working out so hard that at some point I was burning more calories than I was eating. So, even if I ate an entire pizza, I was still hungry. It got to a point where I indulged more than I ever had before. My appetite was out of control and I was hungry all the time. There was nothing I could do to satisfy my hunger. I decided that the more I ate, the more I had to swim. I was working so hard that during senior year I passed out at a relative's wedding. I wasn't waking up, so I was rushed to the hospital. At the hospital, I met the woman that saved my life. When I woke up, she asked me questions about my eating habits and she was surprised at how much of a feast I was eating every day. She said that, while it was great that I was swimming every day, my eating habits were going to kill me eventually and that I needed to stop eating for a family of 8. She told me that almost every person she's met who was overweight all had the exact same problem. She said it's entirely possible for me to lose weight and I should consider trying some sort of appetite suppressant to kill my questionable hunger. She recommended black tea and water. She explained that they aren't necessarily the best, but they get the job done. She talked to me about how her daughter had the exact same appetite problem, and she always found her in the kitchen no matter the time of day. She showed me pictures of her before her weight loss. I nearly laughed in front of the doctor's face and I felt bad because she was massive. Then she showed me a picture of her after she started taking weight loss pills, and that's what motivated me. That's when I realized how much of an impact my eating habits had on my health. The doctor told me to come to her clinic if I needed checkups. I thanked her and we made a bet that I'd lose 40 pounds in 6 months. When I got back home from the hospital, instead of drinking nasty black coffee, I bought Obvi Elite online from a story I read, since it seemed to be an appetite suppressant that didn't taste like crap. I kept swimming no matter what to make sure I was still active though. After a week of using the Obvi Elite, I was only eating 1 meal a day and some snacks. I did notice though, if I wasn't consistent using the drops every day, then they wouldn't work. After 6 months of working out and using the Obvi Elite, I no longer needed the drops as the habit of eating a buffet every day had gone away. Not only did they curb my appetite, but they boosted my metabolism, which helped me burn fat. And I found something more useful to do with my time by reading and playing the guitar. When I was ready, I went to that doctor's clinic for my checkup. When I got to the secretary, I saw the doctor's daughter writing, and that made my heart drop. She was so much prettier in person. She had me sucking in my stomach more, hoping she'd notice me. When I saw the doctor, she checked my pulse, my lungs, and my heart rate, and everything was normal. Now it was time for the moment of truth. I stepped on the scale and I saw her write down something on her clipboard. When I stepped off of the scale, she looked at me and put out her hand. I'll never forget when she told me, "Congrats kid, you exceeded my expectations. 55 pounds. It was in that moment I knew that I could do anything. We talked about what I did for a bit, and she said that she was glad I took something like